It's been a great stretch here for both Jalen and Jason. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but this has kind of been the vision for keeping these guys even after all the trade rumors and all the other stuff. This is kind of what we've been building up to, right?
I think that story will be told down the road, right? But those guys are still getting better. You clearly improving in a lot of areas, but I think they are really enjoying playing together and figuring it out, and with the rest of our team, and it's more fun to be a kind of a central player that we're going to in all those occasions, and they're taking advantage of it and doing a really good job of it. As I've said many times this year, our 5 best players are really clear, and everything we do has got to be focused around complementing them and maximizing them. And those 2 guys in particular have done a really good job in this early part of the season of just focusing on making the right plays. But we're still, as a team, and those 2 guys, we still have a lot of room to improve.
And with Tatum, it seems like earlier in the year he was just attacking. And now he's kind of pulled back on some of that. He's had 7 assists recently, another 5 tonight. Yeah. Can you speak to some of that progression that he's making and what's behind it? He's
seeing a lot more doubles. He's seeing a lot more blitzes than he's ever seen, which usually comes, a lot of times the game starts, people are back, you hit a couple shots, they get a little higher, and by the end they're blitzing. And so he's seeing more of that because people know what he's capable of. And that also challenges you as a player to make the next right play. And it's not always the most fun because you're usually making a hockey assist against that blitz. So it's not, to me, it's not the 7 assists or 5 assists, it's what leads to after that usually. And he's doing a really good job of that. And, we're running a lot of action for him and Kimba, and they're doing a great job of reading and playing off of it. And then obviously whenever you run anything or Jalen's just playing off of everybody else, his ability to shoot or drive powerfully is just different. It's just unique.
They started to kind of creep back in a little bit in the middle of the fourth, and you guys hit back and kind of put it to bed. Do you feel like this year the team is kind of holding its ground in the fourth quarter and not letting teams creep back in?
Well, I think statistically we've been excellent in the fourth quarter, but tonight wasn't wasn't a Mona Lisa from an offensive standpoint. But I didn't know if either team was going to score after the first 3 minutes of the fourth, but that was okay because we were up. So we kept getting stops and then finally found a way to put some shots in. Thought the key to tonight's game was we came out with great energy. We played really hard and well together. And then when they made their run, we hit really timely, often tough shots. Sometimes it really is, did you make a shot at that moment that you needed to make a shot to kind of stymie a run? And tonight felt like that. They cut it to 5 to 8 to Jokic was hitting the 1-foot floaters, and then we have to come down and answer. And a couple of those threes that we hit were tough. So that was part of tonight's success. We did make shots against a really good defense.
Right. Going back to the Jalen-Jason relationship, do you notice them kind of rooting for each other and supporting each other and also letting each other know, like reading when the other one's on?
I think I've always felt that way about those 2 guys. And I think that, everybody wants them to do really well. This is I think that the great part of the whole situation is all the players, all the coaches, all the front office, the whole city. But we all want Jason and Jalen to do really well. And, it's on us to all bring out the best in them and help them continue to grow through tough times or success. And they're having a lot of success right now. And so with that comes the different challenges of new defenses and more attention, and how do you handle that? And those guys have, they've shown themselves well thus far.
But what have you thought, just kind of how you guys have really maintained mostly during this long stretch that Gordon's out, and now with him coming back relatively soon, probably, will there be any new challenges of kind of reintegrating? And
I think that, you're always just getting used to each other again, but it hasn't been that long. So I'm not really worried about it. At the end of the day, the best version of ourselves includes all those guys. and we all know it. And our chance against the very, very best to go as late as you want to go includes all those guys. And so and we got a long way till the end of the season. When he does get back, we'll reintegrate him, and we'll just keep trying to, everybody play their best basketball and make the right play. That's been the theme the whole year. Just make the right play. Everything will take care of itself.
Just what have you thought in general about the way you guys have really maintained without him and other guys stepping in a certain
Yeah, I mean, if you would have told me that I don't know what we are now, but we're way ahead of where I thought we would be results-wise, because the first part of the schedule just, we've played 3 more road games, and those trips are really hard. But, there's a long way to go. So we'll see how that all ends itself up. But our guys have done a good job thus far. And during that stretch, that's what good teams do. When guys are out, Kemba was out the one night, Marcus was out the other night against a good team. Like, you just find a way to win. Gordon's out, other guys have to step up.
Brad, you guys are 9-0 at home, and I don't know if you know this, but the Bruins haven't lost in regulation at home. The Patriots haven't lost in regulation. Do you feel like there's something bigger going on here? Do you feel like you're a part of that?
Part of the Bruins?
Just there's a huge streak going on in the city that.
We can be as tough as we want. I don't think we're going to go out there and win a hockey game. I know that. Those guys are really tough. It's a special city to coach in. It's a special city to play in. We've said from day one with this group, our number one objective was to be a team that Boston liked. That's it. So we'll hopefully, be that.
Brad, we're a quarter of the way in the season now. You talked before the year about, the first month was kind of be seeing what you had in terms of doing a lot of experimentation of lineups and stuff. How comfortable are you now just in terms of what you can expect just out of individuals and just collective as this group?
I think I'm comfortable individually, but again, when we're back at full strength, whenever that is, that's when, there'll still be some mixing and matching to try to figure out when the best times to move guys in and out are in those games where they play heavy minutes. But I have a lot of confidence in, any number of guys. We'll continue rotating the center spot the way we rotated, including Grant, playing some 5 and VP when his time comes. But then, Brad and Shemi obviously had a really good stretch here, and I think that helps solidify some of our bench, which is good. Javante played well tonight. Carson's had his moments. Feel good about all those guys. Need to get Romeo healthy. And hopefully he will be soon.
I know we've talked about Grant's 3-point drought. First of all, did you specifically call a play at the end to
No.
try to get him that shot?
No.
That was just them?
Yeah.
And what do you think of the way the guys, just the way they were reacting on the bench? It seems like everybody's kind of still having fun with it.
Yeah, it's really not a big deal. He's a good shooter in practice. He wants one to go down to open the floodgates that we all do, So I'm not worried about it one bit. I told him that yesterday. I think the biggest challenge of a young player in the roles of all the guys that I just mentioned off the bench is they have to find a way to complement those 5 guys. That's what they have to figure out how to do. And so, him as he gets more comfortable and makes shots, he'll just be even better able to do that. But he moves the ball well, he defends well, and he's going to be a really good player. Tonight, we just didn't have room. We had a lot of guys playing and playing well.
You've been here long enough that you've had a lot of players come through here that struggled to shoot at first and kind of worked it into their game like Aaron did. Do you feel like you've witnessed it enough times that even though it's just a philosophy that you obviously have, you can kind of point to examples for these guys to say, see, this is a player who built it up the reps?
Sure. And that goes back to when we were coaching in college, we always had our 5s, regardless if they had ever shot a 3 or not, shoot them all the way until they were shooting them in games. And just think it's, if nothing else, it's not something they're always used to, but it's something that they can really work on and be excited about getting better and show great growth in their game. And he'll get there. He'll be fine. Thanks.